This is the middle third brought to you by Riverside. It's another episode. It's always a fabulous day in Queensland, especially on the weekend when your team wins the derby. How are you, mate?
Yeah, mate, good, mate. Give a big shout out, Lockie Kennedy. Mate, 985 Com Games.
Fantastic performance, but you did try to change the subject very quickly there, I noticed.
Yeah,
Very
no,
quickly.
I'm not talking about it.
You have to talk about it. It's what we have a podcast for, to talk about it. That'll do me. That is just about the best. I'm not talking about it. What? Was it horrible decisions that cost you the game?
No, not at all. Not at all, mate. Mate, you had your terrible, your average sportsmanship sending pitches over. But anyway.
Oh, that'll do me. Oh, God. My average sportsmanship? Oh, seriously. Oh, my God. Seriously. Coming from a Broncos supporter, you're complaining about poor sportsmanship.
Do I ever message you after a game bagging you? Never.
I didn't bag you. I just sent a little picture of Woody going, yo, we won. Like, God, if you can't have a bit of banter during a derby, when can you do it? Seriously.
Well, each their own, my friend. Each their own.
Oh, okay. God, unbelievable. Seriously. All right, mate. Obviously, you're not going to talk about the Broncos-Cowboys game. So tell me, what else caught your eye before we get on to the nuts and bolts?
The disappointment probably was real. I had a good thing. It ruined my tipping, but the Dragons poop in the bed, but the Titans continue to roll on. They looked good. They look really
better.
good.
Yeah,
look really good.
Yeah, I keep saying it. They're going to keep winning games late. Look, they've got some tough games coming up, so they're going to do it tough maybe to win up. They might pick up one more, but they certainly are going in the right direction. And if they continue to do that with a couple of really key signings, they will be pushing for top 8 next year.
Mate, definitely. They were, mate, as I said, even the games they lost, they didn't lose by a lot. So they haven't been blown off the park.
Another 2 or 3 they probably should have won. Actually,
and they butchered a couple as well. So, mate, I think Hane's, you could probably say, he may be a little bit of an early crow, but he's probably the best thing since John Cartwright for them.
I think so. Oh, look, I always thought Neil Henry was okay. I thought he got
Hayne planed.
He got Hayne planed. Yeah, Hayne. Yeah. Can you imagine a player, a star recruit, getting rid of the coach, then not re-signing? Like, seriously, that'll do me. That will dead set absolutely do me. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, for me, mate, the highlight, obviously, was watching one Jason Taumalolo roll back the clock, especially in that first half. Was absolutely outstanding in that first half. He just slayed the platform. He was fantastic. Skittling you blokes like 9 pins. And certainly, as I say, there is no doubt in my mind that he is one of the best forwards of the modern era, if not the best. He is just amazing to think he's doing this now at 32 years of age and 303 games or whatever it is. Absolutely amazing. So, well done, Jason. So, all right, mate. We'll go back to the derby later. But, mate, there has been some other news which has been floating around. Let's kick things off with some injury updates because there's some big injuries coming out of the weekend's game. So
really bad, really bad.
Hudson Young, another Achilles, gone. So what's that? 6 months recovery?
Yeah, he's in big trouble. No, he was gone last week.
Was it last week? Was it? Okay, then we've got Dylan, the two Dylans. So
Dylan Brown. Dylan's gone.
Yeah, Dylan Brown, Dylan Lucas, both gone ACL for Dylan Brown. So the $13 million man is out for the rest of the year, and he's also out of the World Cup.
Big trouble, big trouble for them. But as I said, you could say Nicarima has been playing better than Dylan Brown anyway.
Oh, look, he certainly has been. But I suppose what it does do, the one thing that we know with the Knights now they've played, with having Dylan Brown the side, he's going to create doubt on which side of the field. He can work the right side, Ponga can work the left, and just open things up. So you got to be very careful. That's what's worked for all from. It's not going to have the Fletcher Sharp is not going to have he's not going to have the same impact in doing that.
And Walsh and not Walsh. Sorry, Ponga's a little bit off the boil. just a little bit, trying a little bit too hard.
Yeah, and so it'd be interesting how that, if they can get that balance right. But now they've lost one of their young gun forwards. So
He's arguably their best forward.
Yeah, he's pretty close, and they're already without Saifidi as well. So we've said it at the start of the year. We thought they'd be ordinary. They keep kicking on and flying another gear, but they've just come back to the field in the last few weeks. And there are plenty people that know more about rugby league than you and I that are tipping them to come out of the 8. So it'll be very interesting here to see how that all sort of unfolds as we go. And the news came out yesterday. Latrell Mitchell, potential nerve damage in his back and his leg. So along the same lines as what obviously Tommy Flegler had at the Dolphins, who was out for the best part of 2 years with that. So there are big concerns around Latrell Mitchell.
Considering he's not someone who would work as hard as Flegler, if it's all meant to be, if it's all said and done, it could be curtains.
Yeah. So where does that put him with re-signing? So all the talk was that Souths are ready to hand him a massive upgrade.
Well,
I don't know where you get his vote now at an upgrade because output-wise he hasn't been, but
I'd say that'll be put to bed for the moment, maybe in case they have to go to medical retirement.
Okay. Medical retirement, the MR word. Ooh, okay. Well, that would be, it would be for a lot of people out there, a travesty. For me, I wouldn't care less. So I would be it wouldn't worry me, wouldn't lose a minute's sleep over that whatsoever, which makes it even more interesting. Okay, mate, signing news, and plenty of it. And some interesting ones that have rolled around. So obviously got revealed today. Looks like Cody Nikorima is off to the Dragons.
Yeah, they're putting together a reasonable squad. Whether they can gel and come together is the alternative. But I still think it's a bizarre move because Cody Nikorima is still, I think he's still a year or two younger than George Williams.
No, Cody Williams 32. Nikorima is 32. So
32. I thought George Williams was in his 30s too.
Oh, look, it could be, but I think he's a little bit younger. Look, it's an interesting decision. Yeah, he's lighting it up, but obviously the decision to sign George Williams has already been made. So, and he would have come at a reasonable cost as well. But when you think about it, that side they're starting to put together there at the Dragons, they got some coin, as you put it, as some whippy, as you call it. Now, Holmes is already, as we know, on is well publicised on $1 million a year. You got Luke Metcalf has gone with best part of $1 million a year. Drinkwater is on better part of $1 million a year. And Keon Kalamatangi is on best part of $1 million a year, and thrown in some helicopter rides as well. So that's a lot. They are throwing some money around there.
And the thing is, mate, I think they're doing this because they got a short-term window because all these young forwards would be on low deals at the moment, and they go well at any stage. Big upgrades, they're going to be absolutely.
They're gone, mate. They can't re-sign them. They won't be able to re-sign them because now there's already big raps on the young back rower. I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now, but the big back rower.
They got Stewart, Egan.
That's him, Hamish Stewart. That's the one. So he's the one that the big raps are on.
And that's Stewart, Egan, and the Couchman brothers.
And Pacific Tonga. So the big fella, which is apparently drawn some comparisons with Payne Haas. So
yeah, he doesn't. By the looks of him, he's more like got a motor of Taniel Paseka more than Payne Haas.
Oh, that's like a bit of a slight slap across the face there with the back of the hand.
No, he's just you don't. He hasn't been given the opportunity to play big minutes, but what I've seen so far, it's not quite there yet.
Look, he's certainly a big boy. He's a big body.
Oh, he's a big boy. He's definitely big.
Big body. He's some skill there. So another off-season. Now he's got some confidence of a game. Who knows what could roll around and face everybody next year. So that side of the say he's coming together, but it'll be really interesting how that's going to look. And they also got that Connor Watson who's turned on a 1-year deal arriving there as well. So it is plenty of interesting things happen now at the Dragons. Mate, Lomax to the Chiefs. There we go. So another one is heading over there. So, no, he's taking the money and running.
At the moment, all they're doing is signing representative players.
That's all they're going to sign, mate. As I say, they sign there for, well, let's just say Lomax signs for 600. Let's use the word 600 as probably somewhere around his money, his value, 700 maybe. That's worth double that. That's worth 1.2, essentially, $1 million straight away. So why wouldn't he sign there? Well, what the representative player's going to sign there? It's just, as I say, the fact that the club bosses didn't kick up a stink about this, I find unbelievable.
Oh,
they're starting to get nervous now.
Too little, too late now.
Oh, it's done now. Like, it's done. They didn't want to give the Bears anything, yet they're happy to sign off on this. Someone explain something to me, because it ain't right, and it should. And it should never. It shouldn't have happened with the Chiefs. But in saying that, I think without that, they would have struggled to get players to go over there.
Who's going to go? I don't care what anyone says. Well, who would you play out of a compound? Whatever they want to call it. They could call it a retreat, but it's a compound. And or Perth.
Look,
playing out of a brand new, a reasonably new stadium.
I think it's getting an upgrade. So
in a sports mad, Perth's a sports mad town. Whether you say AFL, cricket, or whatever.
Oh, no, there's no issue with that. They're going to turn up.
So it's
but they've got to win some games. They win some games, they'll fall off very quickly. So that's going to be their challenge. The squad they're putting together it's probably improved a little bit on what we thought they were going to get, but it's probably still not. I don't even think it's the equivalent of what the Dolphins put together yet. So,
no, not at all.
And we've seen how the Dolphins struggled. And that they're now in year 4, is it this year? I think for the Dolphins, and now finally they look like they're just about ready to make semis. And they've got a huge supporter base, already established. And who knows what the Norse fans are going to do? The old Bears fans. Who knows what's going to happen? There's a reason why the Bears weren't in the comp anymore. They forget that very, very quickly. But now, as you mentioned, that Joey Manu, we look like he's a bees, away from signing. So, but the Bears, they're looking at Junior Paulo. Apparently, is potentially going to sign a 3-year deal. Jack Cole from Penrith is not a bad junior coming up. He's going to put pen to paper. So there's some stuff happening there for the Bears, which is really good and hopefully exciting for them. All right, mate. That gets rid of all the boring stuff and all that stuff. We're going to come back. We're going to do all the wash up around 21 at the NRL and whatever else we want to talk about as well. Why not? This is the third. We're back right after this. This is the third. We are back. It's brought to you by Riverside. It's the wash-up, all the action of round 21 of the NRL, including that spectacular derby we had up there at Queensland Country Bank on Saturday. And let's kick all things kicked off Thursday night. The Eels and the Panthers. In the end, Panthers got it done 24-18. Oh, what a horrible, horrible, horrible game.
Yeah, it shows the Panthers, mate, are certainly not the same side. So
no, they were great at the start of the year, but yeah, they're not.
But I think a fair few other sides. I think there's a lot of speed wobbles happening at the moment.
Yeah, I don't really know. They were missing Dylan Edwards. Young bloke went all right. They had a replacement for him, but
it's defensively the best. The rest of them all do they play their part in attack, but Dylan Edwards keeps that irresistible force, that defensive line in order.
Mate, so hard. You got to work twice as hard. It's like some of those players in the old Leighton Hewitt and Michael Chang. These are long people. A lot of us have never heard of those players, but these are guys when on the tennis court would always get another ball back. So you had to work twice as hard just to win a point. And it's the same with players like Dylan Edwards because he puts that much effort into trying to stop tries as does the scoring tries. And let's just say there's probably 16 other fullbacks out there in the comp that could learn a thing or two by doing that. But they don't. Yeah, they don't look like the same side. They've lost a couple recently, and they just don't look like the same side at the moment, Penrith. So it'd be interesting to see what rolls around. I think it's for sure and certain. I think they've got one more bye to go, Penrith. But if they haven't, if they have this minor premiership wrapped up, even if they've got one or two slot wrapped up, I reckon it's going to be rest players City coming up to the last round. Absolutely certainty to do that. As we roll around, we've got the Knights and the Roosters, 23-22. Another side at the moment that is, I don't think, looking very good at all, but they're tripping over some wins is the Roosters.
Yeah, well, big kudos to the poor old Knights. They were absolutely decimated by injury again, and still managed to stay in the fight. And the inconsistencies of that Roosters, their defence was all right, but that Roosters attack is, considering the firepower that's in that back line. Tedesco scoring 3 tries. If he doesn't play, all those the rest, mate, they're non-existent.
Yeah. I think the Roosters aren't. Yeah. Look, everyone's thought they're making the big charge up, and their chance for the minor, if Penrith keeps slipping, then they will put themselves in the frame for a minor premiership. But I still think they are so far away from being able to win the comp, it's not funny. Absolutely so far away, not funny. Rumours swirling around that Sam Walker's chasing a 10-year deal.
Oh.
At somewhere between 1.2 and 1.4 a year.
That's one club I would not do a 10-year deal at.
Oh, look! He said he likes it down there. He's made it pretty clear. He likes it down there. So, but that's what's going to take to get some of these halves that are running around. That's what's going to take the prime loose out of some places. These massive deals. They go. So makes that very interesting. But as we keep rolling around, next up we had the Rabbits and the Storm. In the end, the Rabbits 28, Storm 26. Storm were probably unlucky in the end.
Yeah, I thought there was two instances I thought were obviously poor old Suafalogo scores a try of the year nomination, and then a simple thing that he's been doing all year, that the
trapping the ball.
Yeah, and but I thought Tolau they made a break and he got tackled, and I dead set thought he was held down by Dufty at fullback and should have been a sin bin.
Yeah.
And then that Melbourne couldn't keep him out after the error from Sewer at the end, and they're unlucky. Their season came to an end.
Oh, that's 2 games in a row now that realistically the Storm probably should have won. Had they won those 2, they would be right on the fringe of the 8 right now. So I think there'll be a lot of teams a bit nervous if you've got to play the Storm between now and the end of the year, because they're still capable of something. So even though they lost Harry Grant with a hamstring, don't know how long he's going to be out for, but certainly doesn't. Yeah, you never know with some of these stuff that injuries that they're getting. So next up, Raiders and the 56-10 over the diabolical West Tigers.
Yeah, Raiders just did what a good side should do to an ordinary side. It's that simple.
Terrible. We did deliberately, for those out there, that we did deliberately not talk about the young Dewey West Tigers. We're going to talk about it in the soapbox, because I just think this is absolutely hilarious. And I am not surprised that this has unfolded one little bit.
It's comical. It is really comical, actually.
Yeah, the people say it keeps on. I feel sorry for the West Tigers fans. They've had a wretched run of board in the background that's infighting and carrying on, and now their team is trotting out this after so much promise. I think both of us said if they keep doing what they were doing after the first 6 weeks, they're a big chance for finals, big chance, and they have just. I think they've won 2 games since. They have just been absolutely.
They won two games since the Luai announcement.
Just horrible, absolutely horrible. Bulldogs and the Warriors. Now, this was a surprise, I have to say. 18-6, the Warriors did not fire a shot. They looked terrible.
They bombed a chance. The DWZ went up the sideline, scored a try, got put in touch, sorry. But it was early in the tackle count. Eddie instead of just taking it easy, bang, next play, he tried to he made no room to work. Like he's not that good. Um, sorry, you got players coming across and you got nothing to like. No, sorry, Nick, but they looked off the pace.
What do you reckon? Less time. She spent less time perming his hair and more time working on the track. Hey?
Tamari Martin's kicking game was quite average, I thought, and they got lucky with a few things early, the doggies, but mate, they did enough to win. But yeah, no, they really. I think the wheels, mate, they could be spinning on those Warriors. I think, mate, Luke Metcalf could get a call up before this season's out.
Yeah, but I think he was always going to get a call up at some stage. But whether you put that performance down just purely to the halves, I don't know.
Because their entire careers, see, Chanel and Tamari, they've always been part timers, stop gaps for a majority of the seasons they've played.
No, Tamari. No, Tamari was very much an emerging player when he came on.
Yeah, but over the last 5 years, he's been a big part player in all these clubs.
Yeah, the brain issue.
But
and made a comeback. So, but he's been playing out of his skin though. Absolutely fantastic. He's been playing for the last 8 weeks. There or thereabouts. That Metcalf wasn't even going to get a look in.
Mate, yeah, I think they're in a little bit of strife.
But the wobbles are up, so we'll find out whether they can recover. They've still got a hell of a forward pack rolling around. So
they really are missing Jackson Ford though.
Yeah, he's apparently going a few weeks away, so he's not far away. But they're going to have to find a couple of wins, otherwise that top 4 could go begging again. And Cronulla are hot to trot. They are flying up the ladder.
They are very indeed, good. 100%.
Looking very, very good. Oh, and as we roll around, Saturday night up there at Queensland Country Bank, Cowboys beat the Broncos 18-10. I think the intent was set with the first tackle of the match. You knew that the Cowboys were certainly up for something pretty good. And I think that's how the game sort of panned out. They were very, very good. There was one opportunity late in the half where Braden Burns ran over. I quite liked that, I've got to say. Your mate, Reece Lightning, and put Clifford away. Mam tried really hard, but I thought Clifford was good. Tamalolo was excellent in that game. He certainly wound back the clock. And certainly, more than just shaded, young Payne Haas in that game. You're going to say anything, mate? You're going to sit there with the straight look at the face.
I missed 75% of the game.
I
was out for dinner.
Oh, you're out for dinner. How convenient. Convenient
I saw the Jordan Ricky try get disallowed at the start. And that's literally, then all I saw was bit parts because I was out with dinner with a group of people at the Brecky Creek. So, and it was where I was sitting, I did not have a great view. So,
well, mate, you need to organise yourself better than that. Absolutely organise yourself way better than that. But what it's going to make it very interesting, mathematically now, that's the only way they make the finals now, is mathematically, and sides are everybody losing everywhere really. So that top 8 mark of 26 points.
Nah, mate, they don't deserve to be there, mate. It's that simple. They really don't.
No, I agree. You can't say any more than that. So, but what's going to make real interesting is that roster next year is going to look fairly decidedly different.
Madge made some very, very poor decisions over the last month.
So, do you think he should be under pressure, or because he won the comp last year, all things are, chocolates and honey there at Brisbane?
Well, just because you save someone's life and you go kill someone, it doesn't mean you don't go to jail. So,
okay, that'll do me. That's a pretty good analogy. You go and kill someone.
He won the comp, which was outstanding. Don't get me wrong, it was brilliant, but it's basically been an implosion from.
Do they re-sign? Should he be re-signed? So he's got a deal for.
Definitely not. I personally wouldn't know. I'm pretty adamant with that because it's if you you weigh up pros and cons of a year. You look back, same as anything in life. You set what you want and goals and things like that. If you look at their year, they went over to England and got belted by a Super League side that the week before got beaten by a
40.
second tier side. Um, then they come back and then they've had the TO dramas as well. Then
Yeah,
you
the
had
Payne Haas. Yeah, the Payne Haas moving
Payne
on.
Haas signing to go to South Sydney. TO issues. You've had Karapani issues. You've had obviously
Some of the recruitment, very interesting.
Ezra Mam horribly out of form and finally got dropped and didn't get dropped. Should have got dropped about 2 or 3 weeks earlier, but didn't. Then gets dropped as carry on. I think Reynolds, as much as I love Reno, he's one of my Broncos' favourites. He may have played a year too long,
I said that.
potentially. So,
What do you think about Ben Hunt then, re-signing for next year?
Mate, I love Ben Hunt. I don't, especially having a knee. I think the knee injury didn't help. I think he should have nearly gone off into the sunset.
Well, look, he still could. He could say no to next year.
But I thought he should have stayed. I had him playing this year. If Reynolds retired last year, I had him playing and steering the ship.
Well, that's what the plan initially. That's what the plan originally was
So
when he signed. Then Reynolds went, "I want to play again." And at the start of the year, Reynolds saying he wanted to play next year as well. He wanted to keep going.
Yeah,
I don't know what world some of these players living in.
We lost the game purely off him taking Duffy off and putting Mam on, and then Mam single-handedly cost us the game, lost us the game there. I thought Mam's form this year has been really below par. Yeah, he tried a few times, don't get me wrong, but for someone on that amount of money, Milford used to get bagged and buckled for performances that were nowhere near as diabolically bad as.
I agree. I totally agree.
So
I totally agree.
And the same board that was there for Milford.
And now there's a push. There's a push for Mam to actually take the 7 next year. There's a push on in Brisbane for the Mam to take the 7, which I don't understand in any way, shape, or form because he is not an organising player little bit.
With the cattle they got coming, with Jonah Pezzett and Duffy there, I can't see Mam going taking the 7 as much as they can. Well,
Duffy can't, after looking probably the best out of all Brisbane's halves since he can't get another look in. He can't. And now what should be happening now is with the season effectively over. Well, Major's still the coach next year. The side's going to look decidedly different next year with, as I say, no Adam Reynolds and no Payne Haas, just to name a couple.
No Shibasaki.
So the side's going to look very, very different next year. So I would start planning, Madge, on what you're going to do because I found it also interesting. Darren Lockyer came out and actually said that he didn't think the players from the pre-season onwards didn't look like they were training him near as hard as what they were last year. I think that was I don't know. Actually, I don't even know why he said that because he should have talking a bit. Being a board director, he should have spoken to the coach about that from day dot and got that ironed out, but didn't. Anyway, so that makes 2 for 2. So certainly the Cows take the bragging rights for that one. So as not winning a game for the last 4 years or 5 matches against the Broncos, managed to get a couple back. So certainly as a Cowboy supporter, happy about that. Dragons and the Titans. Tight early on, and then the Titans just ran away with it 38-18. As we mentioned earlier, they look pretty good, the Titans. So
yeah, they could close the year really well and then start look. They could be more than just
making up the numbers.
Making up the numbers in 2028.
Yeah, I agree.
2027,
they're looking much better. They're looking a much more balanced side now. They've got some discipline and some. Yeah, look really good, and Josh Hannay should be applauded. He's made some tough decisions with the roster down there, but it certainly looks like it's all coming up at the moment, looking really positive. And mate, she finishes off with the Sharks absolutely belting the Seagulls at 4 Pines, 48-12. Fosball is done, and
their season's over. They're gone. As I said, mate. For a while there, it looked like there was like 6 teams that could win the comp.
And they were one of them. Yeah, they're
And
good.
I think it's down to, mate, I think only three teams can win the comp. Um, if they get it right and they get it back, I think the Dolphins, if they get Qatar back, Sharks and Panthers. No other team.
Oh, you put a pen through the Warriors as well.
Mate, I think they're falling unless they can resurrect it. It's because they looked poor. Like,
Yeah, we'll find out. We're certainly going to find out this week whether it was just a one. Every team's entitled to have an ordinary performance and throwing something that's not quite there.
yeah,
Throw that up. So it'd be interesting how that all unpacks. All right, mate. Well, that's how we saw things in round 21. Let us know what you think. This is the middle third. We'll be back right after this with the soapbox, and more importantly, the West Tigers. This is the middle third. This middle third brought to you by Riverside. As you can hear it out there, the soapboxes are out. They've been dusted off. The armchair experts have lubricated the tonsils and they are ready to go. West Tigers. So just when you thought, they started the year with such positivity. Then we had the board spill and think, oh, okay, well, maybe that'll be it.
oh mate, it started with Benji. Also, it was Benji ball.
It continues on. Then they had, of course, Jerome Luai announces, I'm going to the Chiefs. They've won 2 games since, and now the blow up with Adam Dewey, who, as announced by Brett Kamali, has got form in this area of wanting to take his bat and ball and go home. So, look, we've spoken more than a couple of times about this. It's unfortunate for the West Tigers fans that there is a bunch of morons that are running the asylum there. It's just ridiculous.
Oh, mate.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Without doubt, the worst head office, back of house in the NRL. Fact.
Seriously. It's
Without doubt.
it is another year going to go where they're not going to play finals. It promised.
And that half-wit bloke who came out and for a 21-second speech, you're kidding yourself.
This is exactly why. So I thought about this when you first told me last week. I thought about it straight away. I'm thinking, why is Dewey's been arguably one of their best players all year? Was in the conversation to make the Origin side only 2 months ago. So that's how well he was going. Okay, suddenly it now comes out that after a conversation with Benji, that Benji wanted to play him either back row or at lock. That was the talk coming out. He has essentially said no, I don't want to do that. And he's had the week off and they've subsequently got flogged. So I looked at it and I thought, okay, this is the perspective I'm taking it from. Okay, you've got a player that they have signed only a matter of a couple of months ago to a long-term deal. Okay, so he's had three knee reconstructions. The club stood by him, so they've rewarded him with a long-term deal. How good is that? We see you as a future of the club. Benji and they loved each other. All looking like just a match made in heaven. And then, of course, Jerome Luai announces what he's doing. The side's form quickly goes south. Dewey's still going okay. He gets injured, unfortunately, comes back. Luai's form by now is in the toilet. He's playing that bad. So what is Benji's solution to all this? So we're going to bring a young bloke in, young Queenslander, Javon Andrews. Adam, we want you to play in the back row. Went play at 13. So the player that they have faith in, believed in, and signed to long term, they want to essentially arsehole him out of his preferred position, which is his best position. Okay? Leave the guy who has already said his future does not lie with the club and has never showed any loyalty to the club or whatsoever since the first day he got there. He hasn't. And some of the shenanigans he's carried on with guys like Lachlan Galvin was absolutely reprehensible. And suddenly, no, he's the guy that I'm going to keep in the side and keep playing, even though his form is in the toilet.
Mm.
Someone explain that to me. Now, should Adam Dewey have refused to play? No, he should have played. So if he said, go play lock, go play lock. And
Yeah,
that's
well, you got well and good to be upset. I don't get. I remember once I got told, I got put on the bench, and I'm like, I'm a winger. You're putting me on the bench. Don't. And I had my nose out of joint. Um, the bloke I thought that replaced me was a half wit, which he was. But
you don't need brains to play on the wing, mate. I'm telling you that right now.
um, but obviously I was a flying machine. I was the quickest in the team. But anyway, he went a different way, which was fine. I get that. I ended up being an injury in the first 10 minutes, and I'll play the rest of the game anyway. So, but no, he be upset. Yes, play definitely. But to then come out and say, "Oh, they vape," and which, mate, get me wrong, they do that. That's unprofessional. That's shocking. But to come out, you're doing that to try and save face, but then you just mark yourself as a dibber dobber. So, well, you better just to shut your mouth and play football.
There's always a way to go,
I
mate.
do agree that, mate, dropping. They should have just played the young kid at 6 if they wanted to. Would leave Duo in the 7 and go from there. And
Yeah,
drop
because he's a
Duo.
7 anyway. So sorry, the young kid, Javan, I think he's a 6 anyway. He's a 6 anyway. And Dewey's a 7. So that makes sense. If that worried about Jerome's feelings, the guy that's on, 1.2 or whatever he's on there, poor fella, put him on the bench if he's that worried about it. But seriously, I think it was it was ridiculous. I've played football. I remember I was playing one particular game. We had a truckload of injuries, and I was a winger or a centre at the time. And midway through the second half, I get told, "Craig, you're going into the back row, brother." I'm going, "What?" By the coach. "What are you talking about?" He says, "Back row." I get to the first scrum. No one wanted to play prop because we had injuries. So I'm now playing prop. So that's how quickly things change. Now, did I throw the baby out with the bathwater? I should have. I dead set, all 5'7" of me, I dead set should have, but I didn't. And you know how many more games I played in the backs after that year? 0, not one. I was forwards for the rest of my career from then on in. So, you just suck it up from that perspective.
Yeah, mate. I think Benji's, as I said, he made
But
some really good
Benji,
decisions
amateur hour,
early
mate.
on in the year. But
Amateur
I think
hour.
the pressure's got to him, and he had a choice to make a fork in the road. Like he drew a hard line in the sand with the Galvin thing. He's drawn it. He had a big speech at the start of the year too about these are the standards.
What
this
a
is that.
what a load of crap that was.
The media lapped it up and said, "Oh, it's great that Benji's taken a line in the sand." But here he's once again. It's very much you're favouring the $1 million man. Ahead of you're putting one man ahead of the team.
Yeah, you're exactly right, mate. The $1 million man, the player that they brought to the club to change things, change cult, drag other players, and then there's some talk saying they've done. Well, I'm looking at the West Tigers culture now, and that's nothing I would want to be a part of. Absolutely guarantee I wouldn't want to be a part of it.
Great,
right now.
100%, mate.
And
100%.
Jerome Luai, he's rolling out crap, and I still watch when he rolled the press conference out during the week, and the media are eating him up. I'm going, "What are you doing?" I said, "Challenge him. This is ridiculous." And they don't want to. The fact that the NRL were happy to sign off on Jerome Luai signing with with the Chiefs, I should say, sorry, in 2028, but for 2027, while he's still contracted to the Tigers, he's allowed to go and service third-party agreements. How does that get signed off on? Because they wouldn't allow that in NRL at any other club. This is just, as I say, just absolutely ridiculous. And this bloke, there are some coaches that struggle to manage strong personalities in the game. And there's
Benji,
Luai's a strong person. Was that?
Benji dropped the ball there, champ.
I think look, the horse is bolted. I don't know if there's any coming back. I don't know if there's any.
I don't think they'll win another game.
Maybe one, maybe.
But some of these sides a few of these sides are playing a few of these sides a little bit on the up. So
There's plenty. Look, you look at the sides that are coming home. Like obviously the Bulldogs are one, just outside the 8 now. You got the Raiders. Raiders are now playing right. They're coming home. Titans they're going to be tough to beat, especially, and they got a lot of games at home. The Titans
And the Sharks are steamrolling everyone.
Sharks are bulldozing every bugger. So, it's going to be really interesting run home in that top 8 because, apart from probably the top 4, the rest of it, not so much up for grabs. Where they finish is going to be really interesting, and some of these sides are going to make it really hard coming home. The Storm, they're going to make it difficult. So we're dead set looking down the barrel of what the top 4. So we've got the Premiers. I think it's the top 4 from last year. Not one of them will be in the 8. So, in terms of obviously Storm, Broncos, who else is it? Bulldogs, and there was the other one. Can't remember now. Anyway, all out of the 8. So, very interesting. Very interesting for interesting times. If you're a West Tigers fan, you know what? Yeah, good luck is all I've got to say. And I want to know, one thing questions now got to start being asked. How long until the NRL steps in and sorts out these basket case clubs? How long till they get them sorted out?
Right, it's embarrassing. They are the biggest. They are the biggest cluster of any. I said, but it's daylight. It is daylight to any other team. There's a few ordinary sides. You look at some of the carry on of Manly and the Dragons. And they're absolutely, it's chalk and cheese comparing them to the Tigers.
But the government's now spending some ridiculous amount of money on Leichhardt. I'm bringing that back up to speed for them. But it looks like it's more and more likely to be their principal place of residence once it's finished. Seriously? They shouldn't even be in the competition at this rate. Should not be in the competition at this rate. If they keep doing the stupid stuff they're doing, dead set should not be in the competition. Don't even so much as deserve it to be in the competition. All right, I'll go take my blood pressure medication now. Let's go. We're going to come back and we're going to preview all the action of round 22. Ooh, the whips are cracking now. All the actions of round 22. We've got tipping, we've got Supercoach, and of course everybody's favourite. They're all still waiting to see if at one stage you can manage to tip a winner in punter's pick. They're all still waiting for it. So this is middle third. We're back right after this. This middle third brought to you by Riverside. Preview time, round 22 of the NRL. Oh, it all happens. One more sleep to go, and she all kicks off on Thursday night up there at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. It's the Cowboys, fresh off their win over the Broncos, taking on the high-flying Roosters. For the Cows, mate, Thomas McCarley is back after having a week off. Griffin Neame is out suspended. A little bit unlucky. I thought a fine was just about sufficient for that one. Reid Marnie's out with HIA. Sonny Luke's going to start. John Bateman's was going to be back, but he's now out again with a hammy. And Caden Lars comes onto the bench for the Roosters. Billy Smith is out. Hugo Savala's to the centres. Daniel Tupou is going to miss 4 or 5. Replaced by Tommy Talau. And Reece Foley is the new man on the bench. Mate, who are you tipping?
I was leaning towards the Cows there for a little while, but I'm going to go back to the Roosters.
Yeah, that'd be right.
But I said Billy Smith and Tupou are big outs. Tommy Talau's hit and miss. He's rocks and diamonds.
I'm going to go the Cowboys. I'm actually going to go the Cowboys.
And I just think the attack at the moment is really clunky for. So, but it's. Yeah, as I said, I'm leaning towards the Roosters, but I may go the Cows because it's at home. But mate, I said the odds of 250 and 150. I think is there's too much disparity there. My thoughts.
Yeah, look. A month ago I would have said Roosters in a heartbeat, but the Cowboys. I think we're going to know after the first set whether the Cowboys are on, and I think the Roosters have been really lucky to get the last 2 wins and probably shouldn't have. In all fairness, Cowboys are very good. They've had a couple of good performances now. Was that one in the middle of the Dolphins? Still don't know what to make of that, where they just self-destructed up there. But I'm going to go the Cowboys. and they're really going to, well, they might have a crack at bashing the Roosters, which is always good to see because that's what they did when they played them back in Magic Round and managed to sneak on them and get a win that the Roosters didn't, a full-strength Roosters side, that I didn't suspect. So Cowboys have got a couple out, but I think there's a chance they might just be able to sneak home with that one. So I want to go the upset on that one. For the Dragons, on Friday night, Dragons and the Finns, so the battle of the red. Moses Suli's in, replaces Emre Gula on the bench. That's an interesting change. The centre places a prop, but anyway. For the Finns, Bostock is back. Nafahu misses out. Cobbo back on the wing. Stone and Averillo are on the bench in place of Sua and Fenifag and Isaac Katawi's not back yet, but word is next week he could be. Well, mate, is this really a conversation?
I'm going to go. As I said, I think that tough loss that they had 2 weeks ago, the Dragons, that's what I reckon might have broken their spirit when they had a few tough calls against them because they certainly last week didn't look like the same side.
Yeah, they just didn't. No, they didn't. So it's fine.
I think it's Dolphins for me.
All right. Next week, Friday night, Melbourne and the Doggies. Howarth is out for Melbourne. Watare's been promoted to the centres. Wilson, Bloor and Chan, new faces on the bench. Harry Grant, Hewen are out. So it looks like Harry Grant's out for at least a couple of weeks for him. For the Doggies, Gordon, Chang, Tum, Hupai are out. Well, that Chang Tum is a waste of space anyway. Replaced by Kurt Mann. And Alakasemi Jones, mate, tricky one, but with no
Dogs.
I'm going to go the Dogs with no Harry Grant. He's the key. Jerome Hughes hasn't looked quite as sharp.
Right. He's had a few niggles this year. He needs a break.
He looks like he's playing with them. Break. He looks like he's actually playing with the niggles too, and he just has to play. So, going to go the Dogs with that one. Saturday, up there at Seabus Super Stadium on the coast, it's the Titans and the Warriors, the Wars. AJ is back. DeGroot, who was fantastic, had a great game on the weekend, he's out. Moran returns. Fayamani is on the bench. For the Warriors, CNK returns at fullback. Tuapik is out for a couple with a foot problem. And a new face is Eddie Iramea Tuava. God, I can't say these names. I do try hard, but I can't. That's that. Whatever you say, mate. I'll take your word for that. Mate, I want to go the Warriors, but I'm not really confident on that one.
I'm on the Titans, mate. I think the ball's rolling. As I said, I think the Warriors' bubble is bursting, and I'm going to go the Titans are coming.
Okay. Oh, well, I reckon the Titans get them. I reckon the Warriors' top four are done. They're done. Top four. Done. If that happens. And then they could make it, I'd say lose confidence, things change very, very quickly in the NRL. Up there, so Saturday, 5:30, it's the Panthers and the Raiders. Should be a pretty good game, this one, I'm thinking.
Boys, this is a pretty good game. I think the missing of Hudson Young's a big loss.
He does a lot of clean-up work for him. He sneaks over for the try every couple of games and a bit of a mongrel as well. So, but Blaze Talangi has felt the ire of Ivan Cleary, and he's gone. Cogger slogs into 5'8".
Yeah, he threw a couple of wild and wasted passes in that game on the weekend.
Dylan Edwards is also out for the Raiders. Owen Paddy returns from suspension. Tommy Starling's back on the bench. Joe Roddy's takes the place of Patuku Case, and Jaden Brayley is out. Oh, I'm going to go Penrith. No, it is that.
Yeah, but I think if the Raiders get a flyer, which they've had a few weeks, they're a chance. But I'm going to lean towards the Panthers.
Okay. Yeah, look, the Panthers haven't looked as good, but they've still come up with some wins in a lot of these tight games. So Canberra have got some players back, but as you mentioned, one of those key planks of how they went so well last year was Hudson Young, and he is not going to be there now. Suncorp, 7:30 Saturday night. You're like a Saturday night game. I hope you can find your way to the stadium. It's Brisbane and the Knights. Interesting game, this one. Grant Anderson's been promoted. Shibasaki has now been dropped. Dean Mariner goes in the centres with Anderson moving on to the wing. Preston Ricky is out, got an ankle problem, I believe. Varsimu has been promoted to prop. Jaden Hunt and Hayes Perham are the new faces on the bench for the Knights. Brown and Lucas Argonski. Carolyn Ponga returns at fullback. Fletcher Sharp moves to 5'8", and Sandham Smith to halfback. Speaking of Sandham Smith, did you watch, I think it was Walker and Cherry Evans and shenanigans before he went for a goal kick on the weekend?
No, what was that?
Horrible. Oh, they balking him. Horrible sportsmanship. It was absolutely horrible. Yeah, something should be said. Go back and have a look at the footage of it and tell me what you think. Dane Gagai is back in the centres. Fletcher Hunt's on the bench. Jermaine McEwen returns to the second row, which is a straight spot for Lucas. Crouch is on the bench. Salasi Lamanu and Kyle McCarthy are out. I don't know. I don't know on this game. I've been sitting there. What do you think, mate? Tell me.
Well, mate, I am, as I said, I think if we've got the attitude right, we've got rid of the, okay, we're not really going to make the 8. Let's play some good football for our fans. I think we'll win, and I think we'll put them away comfortably. Or if the Demons are there, it'll be a game that's won in the last.
So will we know? Do you think we're going to know early? Are we going to know early?
I think so. I think you'll know in the first 10 or 15 minutes. If Brisbane are there, I think they'll blow them away. But if Brisbane are there, if Brisbane can't get out of the blocks early, I think the Knights will be a team full of pests, and it'll come down to it'll be a 6 to 8 point game and finish.
All right, I'll go Brisbane. And that one, I think, it might just be a couple of. We'll see how the injuries go, the sort of effect they have on the Knights. They got the Cronulla, the high-flying Sharkies against the exuberant South Sydney Rabbitohs for the Sharkies. Fanua Blake's been promoted back in the starting side. Tommy Hazelton returns. Colquhoun and Kafusi go back to the bench. Beryl joins the bench. For the Rabbits, Kelamatangi goes back to the second row. John Ruddell to prop. Garlick is out. Lockie Hubner to start at lock. Sean Kepi and Ed Cossey return to the bench. Thomas Fletcher, Mitch is out. Adam Elliott and Tallis Duncan are a chance of returning, are on the reserves list. I think neither are Buckley's for playing. At one stage, it was talked about that Adam Elliott was gone for the year, and suddenly 2 weeks later, he suddenly finds himself back on the bench. I somehow don't think that's the case, but anyway, mate, got to go to Sharks, haven't you? Irrepressible at the moment.
Alex Johnson's going to have his hands full with Katoa.
Yeah, Katoa.
Especially why he's got that bung knee.
I'm actually quite looking forward to Katoa and Ramian arriving next year if they continue this sort of form for the Cows. So they've been going all right in the last 6 or 8 weeks. She all ends up, mate, there at Combank, another battle of the West. It's the West Tide versus the Parramatta Eels, 4:05.
If this is not an elite version of the Who Cares Cup, I don't know what is.
It is a horrible version of the Who Cares Cup. Tavana's out. Taruva's back on the wing. Macassini starts at centres. He's been a bit of a disappointment this year, Macassini. I thought he was...
Yeah, mate, he's been moved to the wing a lot. So he's a better centre than he's a winger. He had a couple of really tough games under the high ball on the wing. I think dented the confidence. But you got to think you got a kid and you've got a journeyman in the centres. It's
losing Talon May. He's played not much footy this year with that shoulder, so that certainly hasn't helped their cause. But injuries are part of it. Adam Dewey's straight back in at halfback. Javen Andrews he's out altogether. Fainu starts the second row. Ethan Roberts dropped to the reserves. Hayward are far off the bench. And Charlie Murray, Tony Suka, and Tristan Hope. Oh, mate, I think it's... Yeah, I've got to be Parramatta, but I can't go anywhere near them.
I'm Team Eels.
Yeah, I'm on Parramatta. But in saying that, this is the sort of game where Parramatta have been better when they're playing someone there's no expectation to win.
Correct.
Much better. When they've played someone they're supposed to beat or go close to, they've been pretty poor. So that's going to make that interesting, but I'm going to go on the Eels. All right, mate, that brings up the tipping. Time for the tipping now that we've told everybody who not to tip. for the week. Where are we with the tipping, mate?
Right, as I said, I used my joker last week, and it was looking good early on, and then that fell apart in a big way. But no, mate, overall leading up top is Bobby Rain, my man from the gym.
Bobby Rain, the new leader.
Right, mate, it is a 5-way tie, a three-way tie for first at 112, and then we got two at 111. So it is on and none of these are jokers now. So it's going to be week to week, but there is 5 jokers within 10 points. So which will keep them in the hunt.
Okay, that'll make it very interesting. Interesting. So joker and a perfect round, or near enough to, will make it very interesting. We'll close the gap.
There's two jokers that are within 6 points.
Oh, well, they're right in it then. If they choose the right time to use it, they are right in it.
If they get a 6 or a 7, it's game on.
All right, Supercoach, mate. Supercoach, mate. Who should we? Who at the moment should we absolutely get rid of? Who should we hold, and who should we buy?
It's pretty tough on the injury front. I won't lie. I said I've got Tallis Duncan. I'm still trying to play with, and the likes. Getting my, mate. I am not often I'm stumped, but I'm a little bit of stumped. I'm thinking I'm going to bring a couple of sharp. I'm looking to potentially bring in. I'm going to bring Hines back in. And I'm going to move. I've got to move Ponga, even though he's coming back in. I'm thinking I'm going to move Ponga out and bring Hines in, potentially.
All right. Okay. All right. So what do we do with Harry Grant? Do we hold on him, or
he's gone?
He's gone.
He's 100% gone.
So
I'll bring him. Blake Brayley will come back in.
You're going to bring in. Okay. All right. Okay, I've got to work. I'm going to do with Harry because he's going to have to go. Out of mine, I'm just having a little bit of a look-see in and around there. Actually, I'm not very happy with Kalen Ponga last week, being the last minute out for that game. Seriously,
yeah.
Like I got nearly 1,300 points. I didn't have him playing. Like seriously, like that was just I couldn't believe that. I mean, what are you doing, mate? What are you dead set doing? Like, unbelievable. All right, mate. Okay. All right, punters pick. All right, punters out there.
Mate, we're going to go Cowboys, Broncos, Dolphins.
Cowboys, Broncos, Dolphins. Okay. All right. So, obviously the Cowboys are giving you...
Oh, sorry. No, I apologise.
You've just changed it.
It's all for 4 Queensland teams.
I think it's only won once this year, or 4 Queensland teams have won.
Yeah, we're going to go that.
Okay, for our $10, what's that going to return us?
Mate, we got well into we're well in the double figures.
Well into double figures. Oh, that's tells me a lot. Thanks for all the detail, mate. Thank you for all the detail. All right, mate. Well, that brings us to the end of another outstanding show. It's great here, as I say, wallowing in the afterglow of a fantastic Derby triumph here for the Mighty Cows. So it's good. So we've been slim pickings against you blokes for the last couple of years. So it's nice to get one back. What are you looking forward to on the weekend, mate? What's happening?
Hang on. No, you wanted detail? I'll give you. We got a boost on it. We've got 15. We're at $15.
Okay. All right.
So
all right. Okay. Well, mate, what's on for the weekend? What are you looking forward to the most?
Mate. I got a weekend. I got less work on, so I'll watch a little bit of football. I'm actually looking forward to watch the. We got
Commonwealth Games.
We got Queensland teams. I got Brisbane teams Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which is really nice, which is good to watch. And then, mate, I'm going to go see the new Spider-Man.
Okay, very good, very good. I'm actually got my rugby side. We got a game on Sunday, so looking forward. We had a win last week, which was nice.
Are you in the finals hunt again?
Yeah, in the finals hunt. Yeah. We 2 games to go into a finals. We picked wins up in both of those. We probably can finish this high up as second, I think now. So after a horrendous run with injuries. We've got a few bodies back now, so we might just it might be able to make a run at it and do some damage there in the.
Who do you play this weekend?
University UQ Heavies we've got this weekend, so we beat them in the first round. So only side that beat them.
Heavy, is that because they're all big?
Yeah, they're pretty big, mate. Compared to our side, everybody's big. Yeah, we're not. We punch well above our weight. That's for sure. On that one. All right, mate. Well, it has come to that time, so it's good night from him.
Good night from him.
Remember, it's hard to be humble when you come from Queensland.
Come from Queensland.
Astro Mix.
So high.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time. Great story. Compelling and rich. Well, that's going to do it for all of us here at Channel 4 News.